On January 27, 1967, the Italian singer and songwriter Luigi Tenco is found dead in his hotel room with a bullet wound in his left temple and a note. He was 28 years old. Luigi Tenco is the Italian musician and lyricist that almost single-handedly changed for good the popular music of our country. There have been many others before or about his times, like the Cantacronache Collective, something like the Chronicle Singers, based in Turin, a group of artists and intellectuals that included Italo Calvino, Umberto Eco, and Michele Straniero. But Luigi Tenco was very popular on the radio, on television, and even on the glossy magazines. He was very good-looking, talented, and he had been acting on a few movies. His songs were about common people, workers, young lovers coming from the countryside or the south of Italy, lost in the heartless metropolis of 1950s and 1960s. Many songs by Luigi Tenco were censored by the Italian censorship. His take on Il Miracolo Economico, the Italian economic miracle of the 1960s, was a shrewd and liberating assessment of the era. In his songs, young men and young women had a new, refreshing outlook on money, traveling, religion, work, sex. The few lines he left on his suicide note were against the jury of the Festival di Sanremo, the Sanremo Italian Song Festival, an extremely popular song contest held annually in the city of Sanremo, broadcast live on the Italian TV since 1955. 3 nights on which the whole country came to a standstill, families and friends gathering around the television set, in the cafes, the trade union clubs, or even the nearest church. The song Tenco presented the night before dying was Ciao Amore Ciao, Bye Love Bye, which he sang together with Dalida. The song, possibly the first about the massive inflows of migrants from rural southern Italy to the northern industrial cities, didn't make it to the final show, the winner's show. One version of the song was usually performed by an Italian artist, while another version was performed by an international guest artist. Dalida was French, one of the greatest singers of the times. Tenco, who had played jazz and beat music in his teens, had met Dalida in Rome in 1966. They became lovers, and she was the one discovering his body that tragic night. Since 1974, the Tenco Award has been created to promote quality songwriters and poets, and to remember the wide influence Tenco's songs have had on the Italian music scene. Tom Waits, Jobim, Caetano Veloso, Leonard Cohen, between others, have been awarded with the Tenco plate. He was buried in Ricaldone, between Piedmont and the Sanremo Riviera, the same day of the festival final night. None of his colleagues was there but one, a very young and shy songwriter called Fabrizio De André. We will hear a lot about him and his music.
La solita strada, bianca come il sale, il grano da crescere e i campi da arare, guardare ogni giorno se piove o c'è sole, e saper se domani si vive o si muore. È un bel giorno, dire basta e andare via. Ciao amore, ciao amore, ciao amore, ciao. Ciao amore, ciao amore, ciao amore, ciao. E andare via lontano a cercare andarsene sognando. E poi mille strade, grigie come fumo, in un mondo di luci, sentirsi nessuno, saltare cent'anni in un giorno solo, dai carri dei campi agli aerei nel cielo, e non capirci niente e avere voglia di tornare da te. Ciao amore, ciao amore, ciao amore, ciao. Ciao amore, ciao amore, ciao amore, ciao. E non saper fare niente in un mondo che sa tutto, e non avere un soldo nemmeno per tornare. Ciao amore, ciao amore, ciao amore, ciao. Ciao amore, ciao amore, ciao amore, ciao.
Vincenzina, watching the factory, you can't wear your headscarf any longer. Is there any life inside there? And how it is like? The Italian economic miracle, in Italian il miracolo economico, is how historians and mass media call the period of sustained economic growth between the end of the Second World War and the late 1960s. Let's say 1950, 1963. Italy was transformed from a poor, mainly rural nation into a major industrial power. It was also a period of momentous change in society and culture. The song Vincenzina by the Milano-based Enzo Iannacci comes from that era and really captures the feelings and the mood of a young woman, likely from South Italy, little Vincenza. It's her first day of work, it's Monday, and the team she supports, Milan, hasn't won its Sunday football match. She stares at the factory endless gates.
Vincenzina davanti alla fabbrica, Vincenzina al foulard non si mette più, una faccia davanti al cancello che si apre già. Vincenzina, hai guardato la fabbrica come se non c'è altro che fabbrica, e hai sentito anche odor di pulito, e la fatica è dentro là. 0-0 anche ieri sono qui. Storia vera che ormai non mi gioca più, che tristezza il padrone non c'è neanche, sti problemi qui. La 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 la. Vincenzina davanti alla fabbrica, Vincenzina vuol bene alla fabbrica e non sa che la vita in fabbrica non c'è, se c'è com'è. E non sa che la vita giù in fabbrica non c'è, se c'è com'è.
We had to leave behind our fields and farms and turn our hands to guns and dynamite, as our motherland was calling. It has been said that the period that goes from La Resistenza, the resistance, 1943-1945, to the killing of Pierpaolo Pasolini, 1975, has been the only time that a considerable minority of Italians stood up for their freedom, broke free from a tight Catholic education, from the mafia family's hegemony, from the flooding of American cheap goods, and open up their views about education, sexuality, and social radical changes. Let's listen to a beautiful canzone partigiana, a song by the partisans, the civilian militia who fought strenuously against the Nazi-fascist occupation.
Dalle belle città date al nemico, fuggibundi su per l'arida montagna, cercando libertà tra rupe e rupe, contro la schiavitù del suo tradito. Lasciammo case, scuole ed officine, mutammo in caserme le vecchie cascine, armammo le mani di bombe e di mitraglia, temprammo i muscoli ed i cuori in battaglia. Siamo i ribelli della montagna, viviamo di stenti e di patimenti, ma quella fede che ci accompagna sarà la legge dell'avvenire, ma quella legge che ci accompagna sarà la fede dell'avvenire. Di giustizia è la nostra disciplina, libertà è l'idea che ci avvicina, rosso sangue è il color della bandiera, partigiani della forte ardente schiera, sulle strade dal nemico assediate, lasciamo talvolta le carni straziate, sentimmo l'ardore della grande scossa, sentimmo l'amore per la patria nostra,